is they're making it simple and easy for people to do that, because every single purchase directly helps a charity like us who are helping children at risk.
And Russell, it's not just the sort of standard fair trade fare, as it were, that you do, because I'm having a look through this website as we're talking, and usually you talk about fair trade, you think in terms of little trinkets, perhaps a little bit of jewellery, some foodstuffs, maybe a little bit of wooden carving, but you do full-blown dining tables and chairs and some massive bits of furniture.
Well, what we wanted to do, Paul, is we wanted to come to the marketplace to demonstrate that fair trade products doesn't have to sit within the niche market. You know, as you say, trinkets and hand-carved wooden bowls from Africa are fine, but people want a broader product range. We know that the UK consumer is a very sophisticated consumer, and what we are attempting to do is to really present the equivalent of, say, a fair trade John Lewis online.
Yes.
So we've got 1,500 wonderful products covering all different categories. Obviously, a big focus on Christmas at the moment, but right across the range. So men's fashion, women's fashion, products for your children, educational products, toys.
You can even buy a reclaimed teak gazebo, which is an incredible piece of architecture.
I
Amazing.
have a funny feeling that you might pick on that one.
That's what I could see that in my garden with me reclining after a long day at the studio. But it is though the idea, the concept, the fair trade concept is pretty standard. You make sure that the people who produce it get treated fairly, get treated well, and actually get the money they deserve for producing the merchandise.
Yes, what we've done, Paul, is we've put together what we describe as a win-win scenario, which means that the producer receives a fair price and is not exploited in the production of the item, but more importantly, we give a significant 20% of the pre-VAT sales price to our charity partner as new income.
You see, that was the other bit I was going to come to then. So the benefit for the charity is 20% of the pre-VAT price goes to the charity, and that's right across the range, so it's nice and simple to see.
Absolutely, right across the range, and in comparison with other online trading companies, will offer a percentage to the charity as a reward for bringing traffic and bringing business to the site. But most of those are single digit, and we said, we're a Christian-based company. We said if we're going to do this, we're going to be, a cheerful giver, and we're going to give 20% back to the charity. So it's a meaningful contribution on every purchase made.
Now, when we were talking about Christmas cards a little while ago, Danny, we here on the programme, we were raising the issue of why don't charities simply produce their own goods? Why is it better for you to get 20% from what is sourced by ethicTrade rather than source your own, produce your own cards, that sort of thing, and get a bigger slice of the profit, as it were?
Yes, well, of course, some people do that, but if you just think about how business models operate in the marketplace, you'll find, the principle is always have your core business, know what you do what you do well, and stick to that. When businesses diversify and try to do a lot of different things, that's sometimes when they run into trouble. So we know what we're called to do. We know what we're doing. We can do it well. We're going to stick to what we're doing. And so when somebody like ethicTrade comes along to support and help and serve, it becomes very exciting. And as Russell said, a win-win for all of us, and particularly for those people who want to buy something knowing that where they're spending their money, the profits are going to a good cause, and the product they're buying hasn't been made by some exploitative worker or some worker that's being exploited somewhere around the world.
Russell, if folk listening to us today are representatives of charities, I suspect many of the major charities will have already come across what you're doing, but if folk are involved in smaller, localised charities, can they avail themselves of your service as well?
Absolutely. The service to all our charity partners is completely free of charge, and that was one of our founding principles, is the fact that we would never ask a charity to write a cheque to part with any money to partner with us. We're interested in small charities and large charities. Really, if we can make a difference, that's what we're about. And if anybody is representing a charity or is involved in a charity who would like to contact us, then they can please send us an email to info@ethictrade.com, and we would love to hear from them.
So that's info@ethictrade.com. The thing I really like about it, I mean, I'm very familiar, obviously, with Jubilee Campaign's logo and the layout of their website, and I love the way that the site is actually designed to tally in with the existing site. So you do tailor things. It's not just one size fits all. You tailor your websites for the individual charity, don't you?
Correct. We basically run a unique site for them, which is branded in their corporate identity. It's to ensure that when supporters have visited the homepage of the charity partner, like the Jubilee Campaign, when they click through to our partnership store, they see the branding. They're comfortable in the knowledge that they are in the same place, buying from the same entity, and the fact that the revenues will go back to the Jubilee Campaign in this instance.
And if folk want to check out the Jubilee Campaign, Danny, just remind us of the website, please.
Yes, that's www.jubileecampaign.co.uk.
www.jubileecampaign.co.uk, and the Jubilee Campaign Ethic Trade site is simply jubileecampaign.ethictrade.com. If you want to find out more from Russell, or indeed from Jubilee Campaign, have a look at those websites. And if you are involved in a charity and you'd like to get on board with this in supporting fairly traded, ethically traded goods, and also perhaps finding a benefit for your charity, you can send an email to Russell at info@ethictrade.com. Guys, I think it sounds like a brilliant idea. I trust that many people will use it to bring blessing over Christmas, and that it'll prosper, and that both your ministries and visions will continue to grow. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.